Today, we're going to be talking about ancient Egypt, pharaohs, and their belief in an afterlife. We can divide up Egypt's past into a number of parts, but overall, today, we're going to divide Egypt's long past into 5 periods. Prehistory, the time before writing, the dynastic period, the time of Egyptian pharaohs, the Greco-Roman period, when Egypt was ruled by Greek kings and Roman emperors, the archaic Islamic period, after the Arab invasion, and the colonial period, when Egypt was ruled by Europeans. But today, we're going to be focusing on the dynastic period, the time of Egyptian pharaohs. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt were the supreme leaders of the land. They were like kings or emperors. They ruled both Upper and Lower Egypt, and they were both the political and religious leaders. The pharaoh was often thought of as one of the gods. The name pharaoh comes from a word meaning great house, describing a palace or kingdom. The pharaoh's wife, or the queen of Egypt, was also considered a powerful ruler. She was called the great royal wife. Sometimes women became the rulers and they were called pharaoh. The son of the current pharaoh would inherit the title and would often go through training so he could become a good leader. Historians divide up the timeline of ancient Egypt history by the dynasties of the pharaohs. A dynasty was when one family maintained power, handing down the throne to an heir. They are generally considered to be 31 dynasties over the 3,000 years of ancient Egyptian history. Pharaohs built great tombs for themselves so they could live well in an afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed in an afterlife. This was a heavenly place, complete with a heavenly Nile River. The ancient Egyptians called this heavenly place the land of 2 fields. Before you could go to the afterlife, the god Anubis would weigh your heart with an ostrich feather, which was the Egyptian symbol of proper behavior. If you were honest, the heart would weigh less than a feather. If you were not, the heart would weigh more. Thoth, the Egyptian god of scribes, wrote down the results. If you were not honest, a waiting monster that was half dog, half crocodile waited at the gates of the afterlife, and they would eat you. If you were honest, you would be able to go through the gates of the afterlife and live forever. But even if you were honest, you would have to wait for the sun god, Ra, to travel to your tomb. Ra would wake up the mummies and bring them to the afterlife. He travels to them in a boat. To keep your heart light and honest, the ancient Egyptians believed you had to spend a lifetime doing good deeds. Crime was very low in ancient Egypt because someday, after a good life spent by the Nile, everyone wanted to board Ra's boat and travel to the land of 2 fields to enjoy their afterlife. There were a couple other requirements you had to satisfy before you could spend eternity in the afterlife. You had to have your name written down somewhere, and you had to have a preserved body. Why? Because the ancient Egyptians believed that everyone had a soul. They called the soul by 2 names, the Ba and the Ka. As the story goes, the Ba returned during the day to watch over the living family, while the Ka flew off to enjoy life in the land of 2 fields. At night, both the Ba and the Ka flew home to their tomb to rest and prepare for the next heavenly day. If something happened to your preserved body, or if your name was not written down somewhere, the Ba and the Ka would get lost and you would disappear, no longer able to reach an afterlife. That's why grave robbing was the most horrible crime in ancient Egypt. Grave robbers not only stole someone's wealth, they stole their chance to live happily in the afterlife. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.